What is good, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Living Big with Big Reg. Tonight, we're going to talk about the Super Bowl. Before we get into that, I want to thank everybody for coming through. Um, like, share, subscribe. Let's continue to grow. We're on our way to 200. So let's make that climb. Let's do what we got to do. No, sir, I'm not. My time is on the nose. So, no, I'm not. And we got Mr. Bazel in the building, as you can see, a usual co-host. I don't know if he's coming through tonight. That's up to him. I sent the link, but I had absolutely zero intention of mentioning the Baltimore Ravens tonight in any way, shape, or form. And lo and behold, what comes across my screen, Zay Flowers is being investigated for an alleged domestic assault. Now, we know exactly how this organization operates when it comes to players and off the field issues, especially since Ray Rice. It kind of hurts that now he hasn't been, charged with anything, which is good. Hopefully, this is maybe just a misunderstanding or a bitter girlfriend situation where he didn't really put his hands on her and she's just trying to get after his money, whatever it is. But hopefully that's the case. And, or, even a person, even if whatever it is, I just hope that not only for his sake but for the other person's sake, that this did not actually happen, right? We're all against males beating up on females. That's not how things are supposed to go in any way, shape, or form. Um, so we're not gonna sit here and treat him like a criminal or anything else, um, because we don't know. We don't have the facts. I'm not gonna assume, and I'm not gonna say I have any facts. We know it's come out. It's alleged, okay, and it's being investigated. Not everybody accused is guilty, right? It's two different things. So I just want to, by nature, we kind of end up reporting these type of things, whether we like to talk about them or not. And it's just one of those things I don't like to talk about. But we know how the Ravens go for it with that stuff usually. I don't know if that's going to change because he's a young talent or anything else, but we'll see what happens. Um, I don't know if the team would kind of wait and say he is found guilty. I don't know if the team would even hesitate to cut him and then his bye bye career because this is a serious situation. But I hope for his sake that none of this actually did happen. And my co-host is here. How we doing? And we got Mr. Shug in the building too.
I'm over here getting into it with the wife.
How we doing? Oh, I don't even want. Hey, we're not even going to talk about that. We don't talk about that on air, sir.
Nah, it's her birthday Saturday, so we got my little thing done.
Okay, what?
So,
Happy early birthday.
so look, I ain't took this motherfucker off since last night when I got my hair done. So I was like, I might take it off for the show. She's like, you really?
Hey,
Just making her way. Make
keep waiting
you know,
to
I,
see
I
it.
gotta
You want to see the fresh?
I gotta go get the shape up tomorrow morning for we take the flight to Miami. So after I get the shape and I come back, then she can see all the freshness at once.
Okay, I dig it. I can't argue that.
Kind of like
I
wedding
can't
day.
argue that. I dig that. Suge Knight says, my prediction, pain. So listen, is the Super Bowl is going to be one of so obviously a repeat Super Bowl, right? We get a rematch. But these two teams are as far from each other or their old teams as they could possibly be, right? Two completely different teams here. But
Say that.
I believe they are. I mean, you go from just a small difference like Jimmy Garoppolo at quarterback to Brock Purdy is huge.
That's a big difference.
Exactly. So to me, and then you lose for the Chiefs, you lose Tyreek Hill. So I just feel like that's a
I
big
think he
difference in it of
lost.
itself.
I think it was the enemy was the big loss. You haven't seen those innovative plays and the timing of play calling since the enemy's been gone. The enemy went to the Commanders and got Sam Howell to almost 5,000 yards. That's creativity.
That is true. On top of that, I don't know if you've heard or if you've seen it, but the Chiefs before the Ravens game actually had Eric Bieniemy come in and talk to the team.
Yeah, I, I
How
I heard
how
about
they
that.
pulled that one off, I don't know, but I mean that's huge. And why
I
this
mean,
guy isn't a head coach yet blows my mind.
he might sign him to a 1 day contract so he could get that Super Bowl ring.
I don't know, but I mean the dude's clearly a phenomenal football coach as far as running an offense and being able to uplift the team. Apparently, didn't even know that was one of his things because the rumors they had going around a couple years ago when he was supposed to be a hot coaching head coach candidate was that players
Just
didn't
didn't
like
like him,
him. Yeah,
right? But you know what happens? He left, and they realized, damn, we
we
needed
love him.
that.
Yeah,
Because if you
we
think
loved
about
him.
it,
We needed him.
last year they talked about how they used to put in plays and the enemy would actually call the plays that they put in, how, certain things went certain ways. But the thing is, just like the Commanders, when they first got him, oh man, he's all strict and he's all this. It's the Belichick experience, but he gives you the Belichick experience on practice, but on game day, he lets you have fun.
Yeah, it's 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 one of those bittersweet things, right? Because Baltimore obviously had to suffer the loss to them, but you get to see what Eric Bieniemy actually meant to that Chiefs football team. It's an amazing situation where he's still sitting out there as a guy that can be a head coach, but for some reason, people are just passing and passing and passing, and it's kind of mind blowing. I mean, I think he'll get his shot eventually because he's gonna have to get his shot by proxy, right? There's no you can't pass up on this dude forever. By proxy, he has to get his shot.
My
But
thing is, if by some stroke of luck, let us pray, like DMX said, he just happens to be available next year when we fire Harbaugh.
I noticed you said we.
Oh yeah, it'll be we, because as soon as that happens, let me
I'm
get
back, right?
these 3 number 4 jerseys, and yeah,
Listen,
I say a likely
I
jersey. You just need to go to.
I listen. I hear that, bro. I would be back too. I would be back too. As of right now, though, I've been looking at the Vikings.
I'm a free agent right now.
Yeah, I've been looking at the Vikings. If they make a QB change, I might be heading to Minnesota.
Look,
I don't know.
the only sports loyalty I owe to anybody is our team of YouTubers. That's about it. Outside of that,
Facts.
if I gotta pay you time, attention, and money coming out of my pocket, I don't owe you loyalty. You owe me loyalty.
Facts. I can't argue that much. I can't. Hey, listen. My key matchup for this game, right, is weird because I was looking at the rosters. I was looking up and down, top and bottom, and honestly, there's really only one matchup that matters to me. And don't get me wrong, the entire game matters. But the key matchup is, and I know they don't actually play against each other, and I don't feel at the same time. But it's Patrick Mahomes versus Christian McCaffrey. Who is going to do more? Who's going to put their team on their back? Because Christian McCaffrey has been dragging the 49ers through the playoffs. He's been absolutely unstoppable. So it's a question of, since he takes a lot more beating than a quarterback, can he sustain that for the Super Bowl? And will Chris Jones be too much?
That matchup won't coincide because, as the Ravens should have learned, the Chiefs are like what 22nd or 23rd against the rush.
Yeah.
So it's no way Mahomes can, if the 49ers decide to run like they will, Mahomes can't compete with that. It's not the same thing at all because that 49ers defense is good against, not great, but good against the pass and good against the run. Where
So
you have you have Kansas City where they're good against the pass, but the biggest thing is going to be if if Spags can convince that defense stuff the run, and you can have fun in the second half, and let McDuffie and Sneed follow, walk, attach themselves at the hip with Ayuk
mhm.
and Debo. Now, if they can just say, "Hey, you have this guy, you have this guy. I don't give a fuck where he lines up. That's who you have. Even if we're in zone, line up over top of him to make it look like it's still a man." And you have to tell Chris Jones like, "Yeah, you're a defensive tackle, and yeah, we let you do the Albert Hainsworth thing where you just rush the passer as a defensive tackle from different spots. But today, we gonna need you to shut down the run."
Mhm.
And them linebackers today, if they play action, you take 2 steps forward. I don't care if they're throwing it or not. Take 2 steps forward to let them know anytime that he's coming out the backfield, we're coming for his life. And the cornerbacks just have to hold up.
So, but that brings the question, because you said with the 49ers, they're not going to deviate from their game plan. They're going to run the football.
I wouldn't even say deviate
Is
from
there a
the.
chance? Is there a
That's not.
chance though?
It's not a
But
deviation if it matches up to your strength. That's not a deviation. That's not. Oh, we're not
yeah,
going to deviate. That's our strength is this, and their weakness is this. So this is obviously the smart thing to do. As a
well, no.
Ravens
When I say
fan,
deviate from the game plan, I mean they're not going to go with what their identity is. That's why I say deviate. They're going to leave. They're going to leave from their game plan. Is there a chance they decide we're going to make Brock Purdy a hero?
no. Because you know what's going to happen to Shanahan if he does that? Same thing that happened in Atlanta. Get your ass the hell out of here with this bullshit.
I'm not so sure. I mean, he's been there a while, and they
He's
seem to
been there
have
a
the
while and
utmost faith in him.
been at how many Super Bowls and lost?
Yes, but
How did he lose those Super Bowls?
that's all the more point for, we
Lack of
see that
running.
these head coaches are very cocky,
And
right?
he did? He said, "Damn, John, you messed up the bag. Hey, we need 35 running plays in the Super Bowl. I don't care if people think it's boring. I need a victory. Thank you."
I truly believe he's gonna come out and say, we see what y'all saying about our quarterback. We see that nobody believes in Brock Purdy. Watch this.
Yeah, he's gonna run the ball, make the defense come up and throw it over top of their heads and say, every play I needed Brock Purdy to make, he made. That's why we won a Super Bowl.
I mean, are we really gonna trust Brock Purdy to throw it over top though?
But look who got the Super Bowl MVP in his damn near rookie year when Marshawn Lynch did all the running. The QB's getting the MVP. Like,
Yes, no, I believe so. This is one situation where I don't think the QB is going to get MVP unless he performs. If
Even
Christian McCaffrey outperforms and carries the 49ers like I think he is going to do, he will get Super Bowl MVP.
but the problem is they're gonna say, "Oh, remember that catch that CMC had? Who got the ball to him?"
Yeah, but that's going to be if he has a great run game, right? And he's catching out the backfield, that they'll just say he made great plays for Brock Purdy. That's what they're going to say. I mean, because realistically, that's how the NFL already looks at the 49ers. That's how the analysts already look at the 49ers, with the exception of a few who want that stand up classic style quarterback to be the thing of today's football. But the rest of them, like Sherm. Sherm wants Brock Purdy to shine because he's bet on Brock Purdy all season long. So outside of the guys like that,
They're going.
everybody looks at this 49ers team and says, those weapons carry Brock Purdy to where he's going. Not that he's necessarily a bad quarterback, but without the weapons he's got and that head coach, he's useless.
But the youth of Brock Purdy makes a bigger story than CMC does. We knew
I get
CMC was what CMC was when he was at Carolina. We knew what CMC was when they traded for CMC. But what they're going to do is, unless CMC runs for 180 yards, they're going to say, "Oh, well, when Brock Purdy did this or when he did that, if he changes a couple plays at the line and they somehow work out, they're going to justify it." Beast Mode had almost 150 rushing yards in the Super Bowl, and what did Russ have? 178 passing yards. And what did they say?
yeah,
What did they do? They gave the MVP to Russ.
yeah, but that's because Beast Mode that's a bad example to me because Beast Mode was terrible to the media and everybody, right? So they're going to go. Don't forget that Pete Carroll, when he was in Seattle, it was all about Russ and getting Russ on the main screen because he didn't like Marshawn Lynch in the way he was with media. So that's going to that narrative doesn't fit. But with this narrative, running back versus quarterback, you got you could say, oh, Brock Purdy, he's young, he's late draft pick, but Christian McCaffrey has that same background. A white running back doing this
I give
wins the
you,
Super Bowl.
I give you a more relatable one. Who scored what 3 touchdowns in the Super Bowl, and they gave Flacco the MVP?
Yep. Of course. I mean, what you're gonna really give down to me? Jacoby Jones should have been MVP, hands down. But they weren't going to give a wide receiver MVP, no matter even if
Okay,
his touchdown, even if he was returning kicks like he was, they wasn't going to get that to him.
okay. I'll give you another one. You remember Trent Dilfer, right? He won a Super Bowl, didn't he?
Yes, I
And
believe he
who's
did.
the MVP of that Super Bowl?
It wasn't Dilfer. It darn sure wasn't Dilfer.
You can't even remember
That's
who. And look, we was watching it, and you can't even remember who. So if you give this to CMC,
Rick. Listen,
how
I'm
many people are going to remember that CMC was a Super Bowl MVP unless they see the icon go against the screen
a lot of people. A lot of people are going to remember it
for a few years,
again.
and then
Yes, we often forget Super Bowl MVPs. There's only a few that actually stick in our head. Obviously, we know Tom Brady's one of few, but that's a quarterback. But outside of the quarterback, a lot of times you tend to like Ray Lewis won Super Bowl MVP, but we don't. Outside of being a fan of the team, you really don't care. So those 49ers fans, they're going to remember that Christian McCaffrey won Super Bowl MVP. The NFL is going to remember that Christian McCaffrey won Super Bowl MVP because they felt he deserved regular season MVP outside of Lamar Jackson. So I think it's just a tougher argument just because of everything CMC's been through in his career, where he had the injuries. Remember, you brought up when he got traded to the 49ers, and you said we knew what he was. We didn't, because a lot of guys were saying, a lot of people thought he was washed, and they thought it was a bad trade for San Francisco. If you remember, he had just came off, I think it was two back to back injury prone seasons
He was
for
washed.
Carolina.
He was over abused because I remember my wife
I
had a
agree.
fantasy football draft. I said, yeah, he's the best back in the league, but they overuse him so he gets hurt. But
I
the
I
thing
I agree.
that Trent Dilfer MVP, you just said who the Super Bowl MVP was, and guess what? You hardly hear anybody say Ray Lewis Super Bowl MVP because he's not a
Yeah, but that
quarterback.
was,
And he's Ray
well,
Lewis.
not only that, but it was surrounded by. They didn't even let that man go to Disneyland. Say the line, he going to Disneyland. They because remember that season, Ray Lewis was surrounded by stuff that happened in his past. He had the case going on and all that. So they're never going to promote that. They're not going to promote that like they would a Christian McCaffrey winning Super Bowl MVP. Ray Lewis didn't get a commercial because of what was going on in his life at the time. And Miss Yolanda's in the building. How you doing, Miss Yolanda? Hope all is well. But yeah, you got to remember what was going on in Ray Lewis's career at the time. And I struggled with that for a second because I'm like, Trent Dilfer, wasn't he our quarterback when we won the Super Bowl? I had to think about that because Trent Dilfer is that doo doo. All right. So that had nothing to do with Ray. That had everything to do with Trent Dilfer. And I always get him mixed up with Tim Hasselbeck for some reason. Those two, their teams, what teams they were on, I always get them mixed up. I don't know why, but I always
Bald
do.
head white guys whose mascot was a bird.
I mean that's part of it, but it's also because Dilfer played for the Seahawks for a short time as well.
I mean, they're both trash. Also,
Yeah, that too. Yeah, doo doo, absolutely doo doo. Um, but bless you. But it's I think this narrative just fits so differently for Christian McCaffrey because you go from everybody saying, "Oh, he's washed, he's washed, he's washed," to the man hasn't. I don't think he's been injured since. Maybe one time since he joined the 49ers, and he been constantly playing outstanding, and then to have this season where you nearly win regular season MVP. He's in the running. And then to go carry the team. Like, let's look at these games they've played. San Francisco has played.
you see what you said
Christian
right there.
McCaffrey
You
is
see
the
what you
one
said right there.
consistent.
You said nearly. He's in the running for MVP. He did way more
Yeah.
than the quarterback did, but Brock Purdy's in the running for MVP too.
Yes. Yeah. No, he is. And that's because Brock Purdy's got some phenomenal numbers. But Brock Purdy fell down when they saw he couldn't carry the team. Brock Purdy dropped. I don't even. I think if Brock Purdy is still in the Super Bowl, I mean in the MVP running, it's Brock. It's by default because so many other people had bad seasons because he did not show improve against those winning teams. And in the playoffs thus far, he's had one drive where he's looked like a good quarterback. That was at the end of the game, in the NFC Championship. So I can't really say that he is that guy, and what nobody can. And that's exactly why I think Christian
I need to see
McCaffrey
what
is
Jay
going to
just
win Super
said.
Bowl MVP.
Jay out here preaching.
Hey, listen, hey, you see, I was gonna show it later on in the show, but go get it. Etsy.com/live a big with Big Reg. It's that to steal a line from Coach, Egyptian like cotton. You know what I'm saying? Real recognize real. Go
You know what
get you one.
line? You know what line you need to
Extremely
steal?
comfortable.
Don't forget it's tax season. Y'all got it.
Mm,
F
facts.
with, F with me. I know y'all got it.
Listen, in the bag, I know y'all got it. Go hit up that site. Pop you some merch. Walk around looking comfortable and fly at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Do it. Do do it. All right. Your boy got more stuff I'm working on. Again, it takes a little longer right now because I'm limited on software. but I'm working on it.
You know what? I
All right.
forgot. I got to. I forgot to send you a little something I found. Don't worry, I got you.
Oh, listen. So all I need is as soon as I give me a laptop, I'm good to go. I'll be straight. It's just my phone. The way my phone is, I can't do much on it. But
The way my phone set up.
yeah, the way my phone's set up, I can't really. You know what I mean? It's not really meant for that. But we working on it though. We working on it. So not to get too far off subject here, we might as well go ahead and put our scores in. What is your score prediction for the game? Who you got winning?
I got a 31-21 KC because
Mm,
I feel like at some point it's going to be a little panic. It's going to be a little razzle dazzle that's unnecessary from the 49ers. Purdy ain't going to be looking as pretty. And, that Kansas City defense just magically comes up with stuff sometimes, as we saw.
thank you, Miss Yolanda. I just want to throw that in there. Um, I've been tussling over this one since they both won their games. Right? I've been going back and forth, and it's not even about who's on the sideline anymore for me, as far as you know the people that don't have to do with football, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not gonna bother mentioning them. Who I was tussling with, who I wanted to win, right? But then I was even tussling even harder with who I believe is going to win, and it's so hard for me to bet against Patrick Mahomes at this point in time. Like the man does amazing things, but I think Kyle Shanahan finally gets one. I think CMC, and this is why I think he's going to do exactly what you said. I think he's going to rush for 180 yards, and I think he wins Super Bowl MVP. I'm going to take San Francisco 24-21.
I need Kyle to lose so they can. So I want to hear them call Kyle James Harden the same way they try to do Lamar. So I need Kyle to go ahead and lose.
Mm.
And when they don't call him James Harden like they tried to call Lamar, then I'm like, damn, that's crazy. It must be something different.
You see what Jay said? 180 yards, CMC like. I think that's what's going to happen. I think that's, and it's crazy that you said 180 because I was thinking that number exactly before you even said it. I'm thinking he, like, in my mind I was gonna say he goes for 180 on the ground and another 75 through the air. Like that was my thought process. And it's crazy that you said 180. I was like, that's crazy. Mm-hmm. I look flat. I look good. Hey, oh man, I shouldn't even put that up there, but I had to put it up there. Why you going in on James like that? Listen, James Harden. If so, I see what you're saying, right? Shanahan loses another one. You got no choice but to say, "Hey man, he get there, but he don't get it done." But I can't call him James Harden because he shows up. He shows up. I mean,
Okay. And that last playoff run that he had with what's big goofy name? All 7 foot of them who try to play like a shooting guard. When they had that joint in Philadelphia, Maxie had more points than him and old boy put together.
yeah, but Maxi, he be having these games where he just go off. Like he's nice.
But
He's nice. You talk
that
about
was an
Joel Embiid.
elimination game. If it's an elimination game and Maxie's going off, y'all should find y'all rhythm too.
I agree. I don't disagree. And Miss Yolanda, I'm the same way. I'm not highly excited about it either. To me, it's kind of a. I wanted to see somebody different make it this year. Um, I was really leaning on the Packers beating the 49ers, and they came so close, but the 49ers pulled it out in the end.
This one of
So,
them times. One of the times
I
I was like, thank God wifey birthday is this week because at least I can be in Miami doing something instead of wasting time on the Super Bowl.
yeah, I might not even watch it to be honest. I mean, I'm gonna. I guess I'm gonna have to so I can cover it, right? So we can talk about it after whoever wins wins. But
Yolanda lives in Florida, Jay.
so I'm now that I'm thinking about it. See, you done got me like a. I'm in a
Oh,
somber
oh,
mood now. I'm in a somber mood now. Like I just thinking about the Super Bowl, and it's not because of necessarily who's in it. I'm just not that excited. I don't know why. It's just, and I love football. That's the crazy thing. I love football, but at this point, I may be more excited to see what the UFL looks like this spring than to watch the Super Bowl. As crazy as that sounds.
probably it's gonna be like until it's the last 15 minutes. If it's close in the fourth quarter, then at the beginning of the fourth quarter, if it's close, it'll be interesting. Outside of that, it's like either they're gonna score a lot of points, or one of them's gonna score a lot of points, or it's just gonna be a low scoring, low budget affair. And eh, one lucky
And I,
bounce of the ball this way or that way, and that's going to determine it. Which I mean, I'm not saying you go to Super Bowl to see fireworks, but you go to the Super Bowl to be like, yo, this matchup's going to be, it's either going to be really tight
yeah,
or it's going to be a blowout. And this time it's just kind of like, you expect Mahomes to win. If the 49ers win, they'll do like, they'll barely win. But each time that the 49ers been there, they've done good. And then it got midway to the third quarter, and all of a sudden, Shanahan's play calling stalls out, just like in Atlanta.
I dig that. But you know what? CMC is the difference here. I think CMC is the difference here. I think he makes the big difference. Remember, last time the 49ers were in the Super Bowl, they had Raheem Mostert at running back. This CMC is a different type of beast. I,
Yeah,
I
but
I think he makes the difference in this
you
game.
you can't possibly look and say Raheem Mostert is that bad of a back that is messing up your play calling. You get him out in
I'm not
space,
saying he's a bad back
he's
at all.
flying.
I'm not saying he's a bad back at all. I'm saying Christian McCaffrey's a different type of beast. I'm not taking
No, I'm just
anything away
saying
from Mostert.
you can't say the difference between the two of them would change the result that drastically.
I think it would.
I think it was more Jimmy Garoppolo than anything.
You know what? That I keep forgetting about Jimmy G. Yeah, yeah, that'll do it too. Jimmy G is as questionable as it gets at the quarterback position, right? And it's all based off. You know what's crazy about it? Jimmy G gets all this love based off of what a half a season he had in New England. I mean, come on.
He had a I think it was 8 games that because I think Tom was suspended for 6.
Yeah, so yeah, about a half a season. Well, a little over half a season.
Yeah, so
Um,
he had like 10 games, but
so Yolanda has a fondness for bad football players. It's okay. I understand.
it's clear. It's not even like they have the same letters in their name anywhere. Like it's just
Yeah,
underperforming. Underperform. You know what? It's the underperformance and the hope of potential. Kind of like when she goes in the courtroom and the guy looks like, oh, he looks like he might be a decent lawyer, but he's gonna underperform. So she relates those bad players with how many victories she has in the courtroom. That's what it is.
I listen. I don't know about all that. I just know when somebody says, "Oh yeah, I like Jimmy G," and this is I like Odafioe, you kind of look at him and go,
There's something. There's something wrong with that one.
Why? Why? But but at least one of them is showing potential. Owe matched his highest sack number from his best season so far at 5. So he's, you know, maybe without missing those games, if he's a little healthier, maybe he reaches 8. You know what I mean?
I think he'll go up.
I mean, he's gonna have no
And
choice but to because we're gonna have a bunch of free agents over the offseason, so he has to.
no, I think he'll go up because remember, this year is the pay me or play with me year. So he's going to go up because he's going to want that money, just like all our draft picks. Oh, you want that money? All of a sudden you got 10 sacks for once, and then he gonna get paid, and he gonna go back to being Owe.
Yeah, get paid and then get shipped out the building to go be somewhere else and get us a compensation pick or a compensatory pick and do nothing when he goes to his next team. It's unless he goes to Seattle, right? McDonald can scheme him up a couple of sacks. I can
We
see
know,
that
we know,
happening.
we know Owe ain't even the original Robin. He's the second Robin.
Like speaking of Seattle, you said he's the second Robin. That's messed up. Um, but let's hold on. The original Robin, he went on to do great things. You know, he ended up becoming Nightwing, and he did his thing. What's good, Mister Galloway? Hip hop extraordinaire, Mister Galloway's in the building. Hope all is well, brother.
You said the original Robin. I'm talking about the Jason Todd Robin. That's Owe.
I know. You talking about the second Robin?
Yeah,
I said the yeah. I was just making the point that the original one did well, but you know the second one. Hmm. Did you ever see? I know this is completely off subject. I'm we're gonna switch it up right here for a little second because you brought up Robin. Did you ever see Batman Under the Red Hood? It's an animated movie. Very good. Very, very good.
I feel like I did, but I don't remember it that well.
So in that one, Robin uh was murdered by the Joker. And at least they
That's
thought
based
he
off
was
that
dead.
comic. There was
Yes.
there was there was back in '06 or '07, there was an R-rated run of DC Comics that was done by this
Yeah.
one author, and it was one where Joker ended up killing Robin, and Batman beat him with the inch of his life. I think like Commissioner Gordon had to fire 2 shots past his ear, like to stop him from killing because he was literally just beating Joker to death.
So it deviates from that, but take this. The what's the guy's name? I keep forgetting his name. Um what's the one with the the pool where he brings everyone back to life? Um I keep forgetting his name. You know what I'm
It's
talking about.
Al
So it's
something.
yeah, yeah. So he takes Robin's body. They find Robin's body. They put Robin in there, and he came back somewhat of a monster, right? Still human looking, but he comes back and he becomes the Red Hood.
Came back as a psycho.
Yes, he starts killing all criminals. Like he starts killing criminals. He takes over the crime syndicate. And he's looking for Joker so he can kill the Joker. It's You gotta watch it. It's very good. It's my favorite. It's one of my favorite animated movies of all time. It's probably
Crazy
my
part is,
favorite DC product of all time.
wasn't that the premise for? Ah, damn, what was the name of that? The Justice League joint, the original Justice League, where it was a it was the MMORPG that was on PlayStation,
Mm,
where it was like the
I
Justice
don't remember.
League. Basically, Joker had tricked Superman into killing Lois.
Yeah, I don't
So
remember
no,
that.
God, that was sorry, that was Justice League Gods Among Us.
Okay, yeah,
Joker had did something with his laughing gas to basically trick Superman into seeing Lois as Dark Side or something like that, and he literally beat her to death. And then when it wore off and he realized he beat her to death, like he literally just went insane. Like anybody who did anything, like he would just snap off and kill him. To the point where Batman found like some alternate universe that there was another Batman who also had, certain things in place in case Superman went off the damn rails.
yeah,
And that's what that was about. It's pretty much not too far off from the movie you're talking about.
yeah. If you haven't seen it, and this goes for anyone, if you haven't seen it, I implore you to go see it because to go find it, whether you find it on DVD like back in the day or you find it streaming somewhere, find it, watch it. Very good, very good. Like he one upped Joker's level of crazy, but he was so good at it. It was just phenomenal altogether. I loved it. The voiceovers were amazing. Voice actors did a great job. That's one of my favorite ones of all time, right there. Matter
What
of fact,
I'm
I'm probably gonna go look for it so I can watch it again.
what I'm hearing you saying is, and work with me, Yolanda. You saying that always just gonna come back as a monster. 12 sacks next season. That's what you saying.
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying a healthy season, he can probably get to at least 8 sacks. That's if Zach Orr is the guy to come dip him in that water and rejuvenate his career. You feel where I'm coming from?
It's up to Yolanda's boy to make it through.
Because it just seems like maybe it's just me, and I don't know if anybody else has been paying attention to this, but it doesn't seem like Owe has that fight in him. Like
He
it
just
seems
don't
like
know
when
how
he's
to
pass
turn it
rushing,
on. He don't know how to turn it on
yeah,
and keep it on. That's a problem.
like when he turns the corner, like when he comes off the ball, I just don't see like and if you watch him for a full play, it just seems like he turns the motor off and on, and he's not going 100 all game every play he's out there. Like he seems like he's more like some plays he's in slow motion. And I
It's like
understand there's ones where they're like, "Hey, don't rush the passer." I understand that it could be a scheme thing, but as much as we rushed for this year, and he just looked like he was just like getting pushed back by the O line and just standing there.
it's like that
I
move
don't think
didn't
that was
work.
part
Let
of
me
the game
let me
plan.
say it's like that move didn't work. Let me save some energy for next play.
Yeah, like that's the type of vibes I was getting from him. I didn't like it. Maybe it was because he was hurt. I don't know, but Michelanda says he gets 10 with ease. Don't know how I feel about that.
I
I
mean,
don't. I don't.
I've had a
I don't
thumb
think
and
so.
finger injury, and I can tell you right now, when it comes time to pass rush, there's no funner thing in the world.
So she believes Michelanda believes he does have that energy. He does have that fight in him, and he's been playing through a finger injury, and he has to have surgery. I mean, are we really going to talk about players playing through finger injuries?
Marcus Williams had one arm.
JPP is missing fingers altogether. That man comes out and gives it his all every play. He's
I tried
batting the
to,
ball down with an empty glove. He just out there. Mm.
I tried to steer you away from that. I knew it was
He's
coming.
making plays left and right while telling the whole offensive line he loves them. He's like, I love you, but I'm gonna knock this ball down. Like, that's not an excuse. That's not an excuse. Vigilante, you brought that one out of me. You brought that one out of me by bringing up the finger injury. He can do this. I don't like talking about Joe Flacco, but that man finished a game with a torn ACL. Brett Favre has played with broken fingers while throwing the football. You telling me Oway can't get a sack?
Hey Jay, you so wrong for that, bro. I ain't gonna look at the screen. That
I
was just
saw
so
it. I
wrong.
saw it. I saw it. I'm not Jay. That's messed up. But I mean, and pause because that's kind of wild too. If you really think about it, pause.
I thought about it. I just stayed out of it.
Yeah, pause. I'm not putting that up there. Pause. There's no way
Disrespectful.
you're gonna tell me that JPP comes in and well, how many sacks did JPP have when he played with us? I think he was around five,
He
wasn't he?
no, I could have sworn he had gotten 9 because he got to his incentives.
That's that's crazy.
JPP hit his incentives.
That's crazy. That's that's crazy. JPP said, "Let me come out here and put these two fingers in the dirt and show you how to rush the passer."
You
Meanwhile,
see,
Oway, Oway out here like, "Hey, I got a hurt finger, but I can't even put it in the dirt. I'm just gonna stand up and then get knocked down and eat grass." What is that? How are we allowing that? That man should be he should be out
J
there going crazy.
JPP got 3, but he hit some type of
Maybe it was games played insensitive because we picked him up. I think we picked him up during the season. The season was already started.
he did have 5 pass defense though. I ain't tell you that.
Yeah, I told you he was batting the ball down with that glove, empty glove, just just throwing it in
And
the
he
air,
got a pick.
empty glove. The man caught the ball like this, held it in his hand like this, caught it one handed. Sorry, caught it two fingered. Wow, grabbed it. It was like I got an INT.
And still didn't fumble.
Bet your away can't do that. I bet your away can't do that.
I mean, Oway did
God
force a
forgive
couple
him
fumbles.
for going this far.
The one time we beat Mahomes, Oway did force a fumble.
Yes, he did, and we will forever be grateful, right? But he's got to step up. I need him to be a first round pick next year. If he can play like a first round pick next year, I'd
Oway
be
is that
extremely
terrible.
happy for him. I'd I'd be extremely happy for him if he could
Look,
play like a first round pick
we're
next
just
year.
giving Oway the energy that he gives on the field, which is terrible.
Listen, if he don't get it together, we're gonna be giving Jason a way in a second. Okay, yes, I called him Jason. I know he wants to go by Dafe. So if I have to say it for you another way, we're gonna be giving no Dafe a way for very cheap if he don't get it together.
Look, it might be for the
Like
low price to just get him off my salary cap.
pretty much, pretty much. Oh,
I feel like we
your
got more
contract
production
running
out.
out. We'll pick you up on the practice squad next year, like
Right, we got
that
more
type.
production out of Harrison, a 4th round pick, than we did from Oway.
Listen, and Ojabo is another one, right? Ojabo's job is on the line. To me, I mean, you got to show me you can even be healthy. Like he might be, if he don't get that health together, he might be done with football altogether. But just to get back on subject, because we're about to end this stream, we're about to get up out of here. Been here for almost an hour. You have picked the Chiefs to win. You said 31-21, I believe you said, right? And I have the San Francisco 49ers winning the Super Bowl 24-21. Thank y'all for coming by. It's been another great show.
Hold on, don't
Sir,
ignore that comment. If you don't put a comment up, I will say what he said out loud.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not putting that comment up. You know what? I have to because Wade needs some Viagra because his effort is equivalent to ED. In case y'all don't know what that is, it's erectile dysfunction. He can't get it up. Anyway. um. Anyway, Miss Yolanda, know there would be no 2 hour stream. I gotta get up early, and I've already been dealing with a pounding headache all day. So,
Pause.
pause. So we will be getting
That's
off
wild.
early
After what
today.
you just put up.
That
Pause
is
again.
wild. Double pause, right? Triple pause, because that was wild. Because I just put that on the screen. Um. So we are getting out of here today. We thank everybody for coming by. We love y'all. Uh, are you back to being a streamer? I mean, I saw you streaming late night the other night on your channel.
Oh no. I was just sending something over while I was a guest star for Jay's show.
No. It looked like Jay was streaming, and then you streamed on your channel as well. That's what it
No, it
looked
was
like to me. So are you
simulcast.
back?
No,
Yeah,
that was
it
just
looked like you're back.
simulcast.
It looked like
I'm
he's
back.
back, people. If you want to know where to find him, it's 86 Ghosts. You know what I'm saying? It's 86 Ghosts. YouTube, TikTok, and Twitter, right? Something like that. No, Twitter, TikTok was some weird stuff like Ghost 86 or something.
Yeah, I got rid of TikTok and
Whatever
Twitter.
it is.
To hell with both of them.
So, well, 86 Ghosts on YouTube and 86ghosts.com for some fire merch. Correct?
Yeah, I can give you that one. I can give you that one. I almost forgot that existed. It's been so long.
Yeah, see, I got you. I got you. As for me,
Tax season.
living big with Big Reg. Hey, facts. Go hit them up. Get that merch. Get it while it's hot. As for me, living big with Big Reg here on YouTube, TikTok, Twitter. Y'all know that. I be out there. I be out there. I'm in the streets. And you'll find continuous links to the fire merch. Go copy you something. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.